welcome, welcome, welcome to Intro to Wevideo. Video creation made super easy with the incredible Sarah. So she's going to get started in a second, but I did want to give you a couple of announcements. So who am I? I'm Dr. Desiree Alexander. I am the founder, CEO of Educator Alexander Consulting. I am your host today. Hello. This is all the ways that you can contact me. My Twitter is at Educator Alex. All other social media is Educator Alexander. Upcoming webinars. So we have 2 webinars in December that we know of. Stuff gets scheduled last minute. We throw it out there. But that we know of so far, we have 2 in December. The wonderful Walker, the wonderful Anitra Walker is going to come and tell us about adjusting ELA lessons in a 4x4 world. And honestly, I'm an ELA teacher, but I haven't been in the classroom for a couple of years. And I was like, what is 4x4? So I was happy to read that and go, oh, okay, awesome. So Coffee and TPD with her on December 5th. And then we're going to come on back on December 12th to talk about the wonderful product Elementary. So this is writing, coding, and sharing for all grade levels. Because I want to put all grades because elementary, it sounds like, oh, it's for elementary, but it's for everybody. And it's all about writing. You can write complete books where your students can write complete books and animate them and all that good stuff. They have manga characters, all that. And then they have a coding aspect behind it. We can make them all move. And so she'll tell you all about that. But I was very, very impressed with that. So you can come and learn about Elementary. And then we just scheduled this one. I haven't even tweeted about it, y'all. So y'all are hearing about it first. Organize your Google Life with Jen. I saw Jen present like 5 minutes and I was like, you have to come or I will kidnap you and make you do it. And she said yes. So I'm so happy I didn't have to commit a crime. And she's going to show us all about color coding and emojis and all that good stuff for organizing your life. And we do have giveaways, deals, and you just heard about the 3 new webinars, but I am giving away things. So you can just go to that same link that I already gave you and click on this image and it will bring you to alex.net/no goodness. And it's all about some good stuff that I'm giving away. For example, a 20% off coupon for all of my classes, including the SLLA test prep, educational leadership class, the Google certifications, all that good stuff. I'm bringing back the 5 chances to win. I did this in May because everybody was gloomy. And I was like, I need to give away some money. So I'm bringing it back. 5 chances to win. All you need to do is subscribe to my newsletter, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm going to give one $50 gift card to anyone who is subscribed. I'm going to pick one and give it away for one YouTube, one Twitter, one Facebook, one Instagram. And then if you want to build your own online courses, Teachable is a really, really awesome tool. That's what I use. And they really don't give discounts. People ask me all the time, but they're giving a discount right now. And I was like, what? Can I renew? So I'm actually talking to them. I'm like, I want to renew mine at this discount. So there you go. All that's on that same link right here. Giveaways, deals, and new webinars. And you can just go to edalex.net/events to get everything. Yes, we do have an evaluation, but it's only for those who are watching us live. So if you're watching us on YouTube, right under the video, you can click on Show More, and you'll see Sarah's resource and any other information we want to give you. Last but not least, we have one upcoming pay event. So this one is not free, but it is ISTE20 Live. And I'm so honored to be a featured voice there. So you can find more information about my sessions on the website. So that is it for me. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and let the incredible Sarah share.
All right. Thank you, Desiree, for that intro. You always offer such amazing things to people, and you're right, like it gets a little dreary, gloomy and all that. So those little pick-me-ups are pretty awesome. So thank you for doing that for all of us too. I'm excited to be here. I think, Desiree, this might be like number 12, 13-ish.
25-ish.
93. I don't, you stop counting after a while, right? So today we're coming back and we're going to talk about a product that is honestly very new to myself. It's called Wevideo, and I'll give you a little bit of that backstory in a second. But if you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Sarah Kiefer. I am a technology integration specialist for the Ross Local Schools. which is located just a little bit northwest of Cincinnati, Ohio. Before I did this job, which I've been doing for about 4 years, I think I might be in year 5. And before this, I was a classroom teacher. I taught 5th grade as well as 7th and 8th grade, and I loved it. But I also loved the change from one position to the next. It always kind of gave me a little bit of a refresh, a chance to, you know, grow my brain in a different way. And I love the progression. I love that I was a classroom teacher. Honestly, I could happily go back, but I absolutely adore the job that I get to do now, because I get to work with 2 buildings full of elementary teachers and students, as well as I still keep in touch with middle school teachers, and I do have a little bit of a district-wide role if should the need arise and all that kind of stuff. So Wevideo is a new product to myself and to the teachers in my district. It's kind of an interesting story how we came to be using Wevideo, which I was just in a Twitter chat. If you're familiar with Jake Miller, shout out to EDU Duct Tape, fantastic podcast. Jake shares out a lot of really great information, but I was in one of his Twitter chats and it was about Wevideo, and I said, you know, that'd be a pretty cool product to try, but I'm not a video editor. Like, I really don't have a whole lot of need for one, but also it was very intimidating. And there was a gentleman in the chat by the name of John Klein. And at the time, I didn't know who he was. And he said, hey, why don't you try Wevideo? Let's get you set up. And I was like, okay. So we connected and we were able to get a trial of Wevideo. And then about 2 weeks later, we went into full shutdown. Our governor in the state of Ohio closed us on March 13th. And we had literally just rolled this out to our teachers the week prior. So talk about the excitement of being able to share this with my teachers. And then I was kind of saddened because I thought that was going to be the end of our mini run with Wevideo. And actually the closure really supported our teachers in trying out and using Wevideo. We found it to fill a very specific need for our teachers to be able to get lessons to their kids. And personally, I was like, okay, so how do I fit in this picture? And little did I know that, you know, 2 days later, one of the principals called me up and he said, hey, I want to do video announcements and I'm going to record myself and we're going to get different classes to record themselves. And then Sarah, you can put it together, right? And I was like, sure, right? Like, you know, I don't want to tell them no, but I've barely, you know, begun using Wevideo. So that's how I learned Wevideo. It was very much a baptism by fire, and I really came to very much enjoy it. So Wevideo's hashtag is what's your story? That's really my story as far as getting involved with Wevideo. And then once I really found that it filled such a need, not just for me, but for a lot of my teachers, it really filled a need. I went on and I ended up doing, they have like modules and things to help support your learning. And I went on and I eventually became a Wevideo ambassador. And if you can see behind me on the chair, I've got like a little Wevideo sweatshirt. So it's pretty cool. And they have, awesomely, one of their main guys here, Dr. Nathan Lang, he even wrote a book and it's got 40 different lessons. Now I know that you can get this, but when you do, you start looking through it and you're just like, wow, there's a lot of like great information in here. So this really is a tool. If you think about it, a lot of their product is truly focused towards educators. So that's my story. We're going to jump in. Most of today, we're going to actually be in Wevideo, but I wanted to give you a little bit of background, a little bit of understanding, because they do have like a specific purpose. It's an online video editor, and you might go, I have absolutely no desire to edit videos. I didn't think I did either. But there are a lot of times where I go, I would love to take this piece and that piece and this, and oops, I messed up on this, and I just want to cut that out. It's video editing, right? So they do have an app, but it also works perfectly on the web. Chromebooks, if you have a Mac, if you have a Windows, whatever your preferred device is. So yes, kids can do it too, which is pretty awesome. I was super excited. I was hoping to be working with kids with Wevideo. Unfortunately, that kind of got put on pause, but I could see how powerful it was for our teachers. Now you might say, well, why as a teacher, Sarah, putting these things together? Well, this I actually am borrowing from Wevideo too, that they have a lot of great features that really benefit a teacher, especially if you're going to be using it with your students. This royalty-free media library, mind-blowing. With a simple little search, you can pull in images, you can pull in ready-made like video clips, you can pull in music, and you can use that, and you can encourage your students to use that without worrying about the copyright. We want to be respectful. I want to teach students and teachers both, hey, other people have created this stuff. We don't want to just take it and use it as our own. We want to make sure that we are respectful of that. So when you have a Wevideo account and you have access to their library, you can rest assured that anything that they use in there, you're good to go. Recording your screen and your webcam. If you're familiar with other video products, video recording products, you can do a lot of that as well. One of my teachers actually pointed out to me in the spring that she would plug in her document camera, and you can actually record from your document camera. That was probably one of the biggest pros for us, is our teachers, who we were all at home at that time, using our document cameras and putting work underneath. The teachers could narrate different lessons and record it all in one spot. So it made that whole piece just super easy. They've added in recently, in the last couple of months, they've added in the ability to create podcasts. So it doesn't just have to be video. You can also create a podcast, or the students could create audio recordings of themselves. So it doesn't have to be the whole camera piece to it. It could be the audio versions of it. And if you think about it in a collaborative manner, which collaboration is a huge piece of Wevideo, having students work together and bringing multiple video or multiple audio clippings of students and putting it together into one, it's perfect. Like Wevideo is perfect for that. So keep all that kind of stuff in mind. And I'm not going to lie, this green screen idea is still a bit much for me. I understand the point of a green screen. I understand how it works, but it still is kind of intimidating. So when teachers ask me about the green screen, 100% possible, it's doable. And then we find different little resources, especially from Wevideo, or John Klein is a fantastic Wevideo expert, and he shares a lot of stuff out on Twitter. It's fantastic to see, just there's really no limits to your creativity if you're willing to put yourself forward with this. I mentioned collaboration because collaboration is another phenomenal piece to Wevideo. You can have students working together on a project. You can have multiple teachers working together. It really does become this all-in-one video editing, podcasting. It's just pretty awesome. So then you can also look over here, and this is kind of the stuff that maybe you don't pay too much attention to, but working across all your devices. I know there are a lot of districts that certain grade levels have Chromebooks, certain grade levels have iPads, or it's a bring your own device school, or the kids are at home working on whatever their personal devices are that you have absolutely no control over. Knowing that Wevideo works across all of those can really go a long way, especially now in the world that we're living in now. It goes a long way in knowing that it's going to be accessible to all of your kids, regardless of what their device is. The COPA and FERPA compliant piece is great. It's a good peace of mind there. You're not installing software. It is web-based, so they just pull up the website. They do have a portion, like you could get a free account, but then there's also a paid version. I think it is decently priced, but you have to, kind of take that under your own advisement and ideas through that. And then, of course, they do have the connections to your LMSs, Google Classroom, Schoology, Canva, ClassLink, and all that. So it's a really wonderful tool that truly does feel like they are really, really, really supportive of educators. Now, making an account is awesome, and it's great. And if you are a person with a Facebook, a Google account, Office 365, Yahoo, you don't even have to create a whole nother username and password. It's wonderful. And you can see, like, there are different various levels of accounts and all that. I'm not going to get real deep into that piece because I honestly have no control over how you go about doing this, but I do want to show you how Wevideo works and things that you can do with it. So like I mentioned before, creation. This is a complete tool that for creating whatever you want. You can create videos, you can record inside of there, making a GIF, super fun, a podcast. And I just want to also throw in there that for those of us that are very timid about the whole video creation, they actually provide templates. So you could go into Wevideo and maybe have an idea of something that you want, but then you might want to start off with one of their templates, which then becomes more of a drag and replace instead of I'm bringing in all of my own stuff and I'm creating fresh. And this is also great, especially the older you get with students. If you're able to use this with your students, you can allow them to pick a template. And you can see that a lot of them have a title underneath explaining what the template is truly geared for, but keep in mind too, you can take a template and you can make it work for whatever you want. But if you're going to be recording a morning meeting, maybe you just click on the morning meeting template and boom, you just substitute in your own words, your own graphics if you need to, your own little videos, and you've got it. Pretty awesome that it's straightforward and ready to go for you. Now, are we ready? Desiree, any questions? I'm going to pause there.
No questions, just comments.
Okay, so we're going to, and my slideshow is not done, so the access, at this point, it's kind of on pause with the presentation. I'm going to jump over into my school account for Wevideo. So I'm going to go into a different screen. Just want to make sure everybody can see that still. Desiree, I'm still good?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So you can see you can log in over here. If you're new, you can sign up down here. I'm just going to go ahead and log in. And because we use our Google accounts to create our accounts for our teachers, log right in, and I am in my account. And you can see over here, it's pretty awesome. It's kind of personalized. Hey, Sarah, how's it going? And then you've got your main screen. This is your dashboard. This is where you're going to start. So you can see I've got some some recently created, edited, in progress types of videos down here. And then this is where you can always start. Your templates, you can come here, you can browse them all, and you're going to see that there is a lot. There is a lot of different templates that you can start from. You can preview them if you hover over them, preview what those are. Some of them are holiday themed, some of them are, you get the election, which obviously would have been nice a couple weeks ago. Just keep scrolling through, see if there's something there that strikes you. And keep in mind, until you actually put a published product out there, you're playing around, you're teaching yourself, you're learning. That's probably the best thing that I can say to you about Wevideo is if you're interested, jump in, start playing with stuff, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, get in there and do something, try something. Because unless you publish it and you share it, nobody else will know. So I'm going to go back and let's say I want to do a new video, right? So it becomes very simple. I'm going to click on here, but you can see if I want to go into projects that I've already got, you can see I've got a lot, right? I told you that I ended up doing almost daily announcements for one of my buildings. You can go in and you can see all of the media that you've imported, that you've brought over. You can see the exports, the videos that you've actually shared out. And you can see, again, quite a few of them, right? So the more you work with the product, the bigger your little warehouse is going to be. Here are some templates. I have not created any. I haven't found the need for doing that. And then because I am an admin in our district, I also have the admin tab. But let's go back to the dashboard and let's just start fresh, right? Like we're gonna start with a clean slate, and I'm gonna show you some of the ins and the outs and the pros and the things that you can do, and some of the, we're working real basic level here. So let's create it.
I have a quick question before you get started. Is there a time limit to how long a video can be?
Like ultimate time limit? Yes. Not in a paid account. That's what we have, is we have like the full-blown account. I don't think that there is a time limit per video in the free accounts. I do think that there might be like a total number of video limit. But that is definitely something to be thinking of as well. And I can gear you towards a website that really like breaks down like this is what you get in your free account, this is what you get in your other account.
That would be great. I'm also going to put the answer in the chat, but it says your free account allows up to 1 gigabyte in storage and export up to 5 minutes of high definition per month.
Okay, awesome. We good? Okay, so since I had a project or several projects that were already in the works, I can either pick one of the projects that I was already working on, or where do I want to save this edit? I don't. I want to, let's go back to the dashboard. I want to create a new, oh, let's go back. Let's go here. Let's just create a whole new project, shall we? So I went to my projects tab and I'm going to click on the plus sign. I'm going to create a new project and I'm going to call it my practice, if I could spell, video. And now here's where you have the option of putting in a description. Really, this is more geared for yourself, but here's where you can choose for it to be a collaborative. You could choose for it to be shared. And I love their little graphics. It's very simple. I just want this to be something that I'm going to work on by myself. So I'm going to click on that and go next. And then I'm not going to add any of the previous media that I've got in here. I'm going to pull in some brand new media. And you say, hey, I've created my project. So now I'm ready to create my video. So this is a screen that really is probably the most common screen that you will use when you're creating Wevideo. And notice when you look around, you've got pretty much like 3 different chunks on your screen. So this area right here is really where you're going to find your media, either stuff that you've already got in there, items that you're bringing into there, or the ability to put more media in, even if it's freshly created. This big black box over here is where you'll be able to see a preview of the media that you are currently working on or working with. And then this down here, I think of it as my timeline, and this is really your whole project. So you're going to be dragging and dropping and putting items in these areas down here. Now this is important for you to pay attention to. These are your building blocks for your entire end result. So notice the difference of these tracks. So you have your audio track, which is always at the bottom, and then you have video 1 and video 2. It doesn't mean that that's all that you can have. If you notice up here, you've got a plus sign. And again, thinking universally, when you see a plus sign, that typically means that you're going to be able to add something. Hovering over it, you see that it says you can add a new video or audio track. So it's great, so you can build up multiple tracks, not just the 3 that you already have. I gotta move my little bar out of the way here. So you've really got this space down here to build your project, build your video, put in there what you want to. Now I point this out, and this is probably the area where if you're going to run into some errors, some issues, probably is going to be because you're not quite understanding these layers. So you have to think in layers, and here they're stacked, so you see them like vertically, but you almost have to kind of like put yourself in an aerial view and be looking down. So whatever you have in video 2 is going to be what is shown on your screen. So if you have a video sitting here and then one directly below it, you're not going to see the one in video 1, you're going to see it in video 2. So keep that in mind. And then your audio, think your audio is always kind of like in the background. So your audio is not going to have any kind of pictures to it. Now, if you have a video that has audio to it, it's going to be still with the video, but if you want to add in additional audio, it would go down here. So keep that in mind, and the more layers you have, the more you need to be respectful of where you're putting those videos to make sure that you're putting them in the right track for your videos so that they show up or don't show up when you want them to. So you might say, well, Sarah, how do I get anything even in there? Like you're saying add audio, add video, but where is any of that coming from? Well, I want to start out pretty basic, and that's if you were like me and you were kind of terrified to put your own stuff in there because you're just not real sure that, you know, like that you would do it right. You're not going to record yourself right, or maybe you don't have like good pictures, whatever your fears are. This is probably one of the most amazing pieces to Wevideo, is in my opinion. Notice my tabs here. Currently I'm in my media. I want to use some of their stock media. And this is where I had said prior that you can rest assured that these are all copyright free. Like you can use whatever you want in their stock collection. Your students can use this as well. So if you want to, right away, it's showing me things of the flag. So if I want to pull in this flag video, I can, and I don't have to worry about, ooh, am I ripping somebody off? You don't have to worry about it because my account is allowing me to pull this and use this. Now pay attention when you're looking. You can tell that this is it. See the 20, it's 20 seconds long. This one's 24 seconds. You see the numbers up here. Pay attention to that because that's how long your video is. You can always cut it shorter, but that's how long it is. So you'll get 20 seconds of this. I love the little title, Slow Motion Windy American, I'm assuming, flag, right? So read those different things, and you see I have a scroll bar, so you can definitely scroll. You see some other flags from different countries, some graphics that are on top of the different flags, and you say, well, Sarah, what if I don't want flags? Like it's Thanksgiving, right? My favorite holiday. What if I just type in Thanksgiving? You can see a whole different selection of items come. And again, if you see the little timer in the top right corner of that, you see how long that video will play. You say, well, Sarah, quit teasing us, just pick something. So what if I want to see this hot, tasty dinner on the kitchen table? If you click on it, you see how it pulls up in my little preview window? So that's a video that I could import and put into my whole collection down here, into my video feed. If you say, yeah, that's not really what I'm looking for, maybe you click on this one. That's pretty cute. That's pretty fun. And click around, look and see, explore. This is what we tell our kids to do all the time. Don't be afraid. And you can see that I have a scroll bar here, so keep looking. Now, do you notice a difference when I get down this far? Do you notice they don't have the time there? It's because these aren't videos. These are just stock images. And you say, well, Sarah, what if I know I'm going in and I want just an image? Well, Wevideo understands that. So I've got my keyword here. And then to the right, you see where it says all. So you can filter. So it's going to kick back all of their videos and images and audio. Or if you say, I just want images, you can narrow down your search. That makes their stock media collection such a more powerful item that you have at your fingertips. Do keyword searching. And sometimes you have to get a little bit creative with your searching. Like if you can't find something, if you were looking for leaves, you may have to kind of alter your searching. That's something that we have to teach our students as well. But you can also minimize your filtering, and you can see here are some what they've deemed Thanksgiving sounds. The same holds true for the sounds as well as the videos with the time in the top right-hand corner. And again, just keep in mind that would be your max for that particular clip. You can always add on to it at the end, or you can splice it and separate it, or you only want a certain portion of it. And I know I'm throwing a lot out there. Just want to get your wheels turning in your head so that you understand. And yes, you can preview the sounds. So if I click on this, I'm hoping that you could hear that okay. But just know that it does preview for you, and you can see the blue line and that little like undulation there with the gray, the lighter gray. So you know this part is quiet, and then the rest of it, that's where you're getting like your noise. So you can see partway through and all that. And we'll get more into that. So that's how you pull in some stock media, or I should say that's how you find stock media. So today I'm actually thinking like, let's make a project. My girls all play soccer. So I pulled some pictures from my youngest daughter's soccer season, if you will. So I typed in the keyword soccer, and I would like just a stock image, something soccer-esque, to start off this little wee video that we're going to create for Emily's soccer season. Now, it's not going to be a comprehensive video, but I do want to show you how you can use some of their stock media as well as pulling in some of your own stock media or some of your own media. So let's put this soccer field image. So I found it. I like it. I actually like this one better now that I'm looking at it. So I've selected it, I've previewed it. Now I'm just going to click and drag it and bring it down. And you notice the numbers on the blue flag. If you pay attention to that, it's going to tell you very precisely where you're dropping this. I want to start my video with this image of a field. Okay, and then you've got your one image in there, and then you get all excited. You're like, oh, what does it look like? Click the little play button, and you'll watch the blue flag go across. And it gives you the time. So it's telling you that image will sit there for 5 seconds. And that feels pretty good. You know, that's pretty awesome. Do I want some soccer audio? Let's try it. Okay, so let's see what some of these are. Family, goalie in action, the King Rock. You might have to preview some of these. The World Goes Wild. That sounds pretty cool. Let's start it out with that. So I'm going to click, and again, it's a click and drag. And you notice how much larger the audio track is, because the time on it says that it's 2 minutes and 37 seconds. Am I going to use that whole time? No, I am not. I don't need the music playing in the background the whole time. So here's what I can do. Again, I'm all excited. I've got a picture in there, and now I've got some audio. I've layered them, right? Audio always in the background. Let's preview it. Notice how the screen goes blank? Because there's no video for it to show, but the music is still playing. So keep that in mind. Okay, now I say, oh, I think it'd be a great time to now bring in a picture of my youngest, right? It's gonna be a video for her soccer season. So I want to bring that in, and you go, okay, well, you know, I'm getting all excited here. I'm getting pumped. So I'm gonna go to my media. I don't have any in there yet, right? I don't, but look at your options down here. I can import, I can go ahead and record, I can narrate. So I could hear my own voice in this Wevideo. I've got some images and a couple of videos that I want to bring in. So I'm going to use the import option. And here's where Wevideo becomes a very versatile tool as well. Notice down at the bottom here, you can import from your social sites. So if you're, again, thinking in the world of us creating a soccer video, and I know like a lot of us are teachers, but I can't hope to recreate a video lesson for a first grade teacher as well as like a high school teacher. So I'm using soccer as kind of like a universal, like pulling in a video, pulling in an image, pulling in sound, because that's what you're doing when you're creating your lessons too. Okay, so keep in mind that you can pull in from your Google Drive, from Facebook, if you have a Box account, Instagram, Dropbox, OneDrive, and Flickr. Or if you see here in the center, you can search and you can browse. And I know that I have some images right here and a couple of videos. So I'm actually going to select all of these and I'm going to bring them in. Another option would be if you have them on your drive or on your desktop over here, if you click on import, I could just drag them from my desktop and bring them over. So now I'm going to have 2 of that same picture in there, which is fine by me because I'm going to know which ones I want to use and put them in there for. So just know that it's a very versatile tool to bring items in, or you work with their stock media and you use what they provide. Now notice I have not clicked a save button. Not yet. I haven't clicked a save button. And in fact, if you look, you're not really even seeing a save button. Very, very bottom left-hand corner here, you can see where my cursor is, very bottom left-hand corner. It says all changes are saved. So I can rest assured that if I have to hop off of here very quickly and go somewhere, my changes are going to be saved automatically. I love that. I love that. I'm such a proponent of what I've always referred to as like the Google save. Like it does it on its own. It's not something I have to remember. Because Lord knows we all have 8,000 different things to remember at this time. All right, so I've got my intro here. I'm going to move my blue flag. I'm just going to drag it and move it back to the beginning. And I can see how my images are still populating right now. So I might have to wait a second, but now they're in. The little blue line is not moving at the bottom. So let's pull in a picture of my little cutie. So here's Emily after her last game. I'm going to take it. And I don't know if you can really see it, but it kind of like clicks into place right there. So there she is after her last game. And again, if you want to preview it, you come back and it's going to play. So let's just humor me for a second and see what this looks like now. It was a pretty awesome transition right there, right? Like you got the soccer field and you come over to Emily, you've got the music in the background. It's pretty awesome. Now, here's another thing that you can do when you transition from one to the next. You can actually use a transition. So I'm actually going to click on Emily and I'm going to move her a little bit. So here's another piece that is just built right into Wevideo, and it is called the transitions. So you come here and you can see there's crossfades, cross blur, read them, go through them, see what you want. The best part is when you click on them, it's going to show you from your first picture to your second picture. That's what it's going to do. So if that's something that I want, I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag it down and I'm going to drop it in, right? So you can see it almost makes like a little puzzle piece, a little connector. Now I'm going to bring Emily over and I'm going to put it right there. Now you might go, you know, when I was listening to that song, it was kind of loud, and I think that's maybe a bit too loud for my liking. How do you turn it down? And I'm not just talking the volume on your computer, because this was something that one of the second grade teachers showed me that he had done, and he did it the reverse way. He wanted to really bump up the audio. And I finally, you know, you see all of these things, and sometimes you don't know what they are until somebody else points them out. But if you look at my audio track now, do you see that blue line that's writing up at the very top? This is pretty awesome. So I can take this blue line, and you see the little dot here. Hovering over items is your best friend. Hover over things, really, you know, put that down, you know, check this out. So if I don't want it at 100% volume because I thought it was kind of loud, just pull that down, maybe 40%, and you can check it out. Click in different spots and you can pull the audio up, you can pull it down even more. Click again, you can pull it up, pull it down. You can really change the audio, which becomes very important when you're recording or importing student work and they're kind of talking soft, but you need to bump them up so that you can actually hear them. You can do that in your audio pieces. So let's go back to my media, all of the items that I inserted, and let's find a video. So here's a video so I can show you this as well. So right now I've just got like one line going across my screen. But if I click on this and you see that the little speaker down there, you're going to see the audio portion of this. And you go, oh, Sarah, there's that blue line that you were talking about. Keep in mind, it's part of that video. I can take the volume here and it's at 100%, which is the top, right? No, you can take this and you can really pull that video up and make it louder in that one particular video clip. Amazing. Now, I just saw the time, and I apologize. I do this so often. I get so excited about all these different pieces. You can also add in text, and this is really where I use layer 2, video 2, is on with the text. So having a field here is great. That's awesome. But what if I want to call this Emily's soccer year, right? I need to add in some text. So I'm going to click on the text options. And again, you have a lot of selection here, a lot of different things. Click on it. It'll preview it. This one shows that it has some motion to it, and you see that it's got motion. Check out the different things. Let's go with, let's go with this one. That one looks pretty cool. So you're just gonna, again, drag it, drop it right there. Now you notice this is where you look and you do a little bit of comparing. My soccer field picture is only that long. I don't want this one to be that long, so I'm just going to shrink it to be the same. So it ends at the same time that the picture goes away. And if you say, well, Sarah, do you want that bada boom? No, I don't. So I'm going to double click on it, and it opens up and it shows me the preview out there. Now I don't want it to say bada boom. I want it to say Emily's 2020 fall. And I go, oh, wouldn't that be cool if I could change the colors? Why? Yes, you can. So change that one to black. Let's go red because our team is a red color. You can manually change the sizes. You can click in there and make that one a lot bigger. You can change the font if you would like. Go wild and crazy with this, right? Now here is one where you do have to click Save Changes. But before we leave here, notice when you come over and you see your little 4 arrows, you can click on this and you can put this wherever it is that you would like. Move it around on your screen, manipulate it, change it. You can shrink, proportionally with the corner if you really want it to maybe fit up in that circle. Adjust it. Like, that's the cool thing. There's so much customization that can be done with Wevideo. You say, hey, I'm pretty happy with that. So now I'm going to click Save Changes. And maybe I want to go from Emily into this video. Maybe I need another transition. So you come down and let's pick curtains, right? This one's pretty cool. Preview that. You got little curtains and you put it in between these two, connect them together. And right now we are at if we watch that whole soccer video, 27-second long video. We've got a title, we have a background picture, we have some music playing, we've added in an image. Amazing, right? And we did all of this within, what, about 20-25 minutes. So we have 10 minutes left to go. Another thing that you can also look at using is some of their backgrounds. So if you want backgrounds instead of just like an image, where it just sits there, or you're not using a theme, you want something a little less specific, I guess, would be come over here to backgrounds and check that out. Imagine having text on top of this. Imagine if you were doing an awards show for your students, you could use this. You have students that wrote thank you letters or things that they're grateful for, and you want to put them in digitally. You could use this. The orange kind of makes me think of fall. You could really go wild and crazy, or the kids could go wild and crazy. Putting text on top of that, putting images on top of this. Guys, I really am just barely scratching the surface with this, barely scratching the surface. So the last thing that I'm probably going to be able to get to is, what if I don't want the audio to go the whole length? And videos will work the same. So let's say I only want the audio to go through halfway through Emily sitting there looking like a little cutie. The first thing we got to do is select audio. That's the thing that we want to work with. That's the item that we want to manipulate. So I've got it right at 5 seconds. Let's take it to, let's do 7:05. So 7 seconds in, I want the audio to stop. Now notice I've got the orange around the audio track. I've got my blue flag right where I want it. And then you see my scissors, which, you guessed it, cuts it apart. So you can see it actually splits that into two pieces. So I just have a chunk of that audio. I have it where I want it to be, and I've cut and pushed off to the side the audio that I don't want. You say, well, Sarah, I don't want it at all in my video. Well, now do you see the little trash can? You can click on that, or another option is if you start dragging and pulling things up to the preview window, you can drag and drop items there, and then it's gone. Now, the awesome piece to that is you didn't delete it. It's not really gone. It's gone from your editing, but it's not like gone, and you can't ever get it back, because you just have to go back to the stock media, type in your search again, and there it is, The World Goes Wild, which was the name of the audio track that I had pulled over. The same goes for this video that I had put in. It was media that I had put in there. And let's say maybe I had accidentally clicked on this video and I had cut this apart. And then I was like, yep, I'm done with this. I'm going to delete that. Oh no, I really want the whole rest of Emily's video back. Don't worry. It's all still here in its entirety. Like, you're never actually using your original media. You pull it down, but you're, I guess, in a way kind of duplicating it, even though I don't think you're truly duplicating it. You're just bringing it down and using it. But if you manipulate it in a way down on your tracks that you don't like, or that you have had too many other edits and then you want to undo it, you can. You can just take this, let's delete it, it's gone, and let's pull that video back down. And I can even minimize the size of that track. And I'm right back to where I wanted it to be. Now I can also preview this, and we can have a lot of fun with this. I can keep pulling in other videos. I can insert different soccer images if I wanted to, to break up all of the ones of Emily, or maybe this was a certain game and she, you want to highlight this. And again, I know that this was focused on something that was not school, but think about what you could do then with it in school, putting in titles, putting in images. Maybe it's an important image from history and you're a social studies teacher. And then on the next block of video, you're showing a question that you want the kids to be thinking about. Or again, when you go to My Media, I know I pulled in items, but you can also record. You can record from your webcam. So very much like you're sitting here, like I am now, and I'm talking to my camera, you can record yourself. Hey guys, it's Saturday, November 21st, Mrs. Kiefer here, and today we're going to be talking about equilateral triangles. Record your little spiel for them. It's going to be right there in Wevideo. You can record your screen. So you've created a slide deck, or you have a worksheet, or maybe because you're teaching remotely, you have your textbook digitally, and that's something that you want to record. Another favorite thing of what I heard from my teachers is that if a parent contacted them and said, I'm having trouble logging into this or that, or I can't find this, you could pull up whatever it is that they're asking a question about, record your screen, boom, you've got a video made. And always, you can do both, screen and webcam. So really, what I've told people with Wevideo, the limit to Wevideo is only the limits that you use and put on yourself. So where I never thought I was a video editor, I'm really not, but I can do video editing. And I think that's the whole point behind Wevideo. We can do video, we can create, we can do really whatever. And you can make it work for you can make it work for your students. And I will say a final piece to my story with the whole Wevideo from the spring was my 3 girls who were also in closure. They were also at home doing school. They watched me create this. And they got really super excited about it. And one of them said to me one day, Mom, I want to do that. I'm like, well, like, what do you want to do? And her friend's birthday was coming up. So I let her get on, and by herself, she was 10 at the time, by herself, she created a little video for her friend, just using all the stock media that was in there. She threw in some sound, she threw in some pictures, she put in some text, all because she had just simply watched me use it. I didn't do any formal instruction with her. And then of course my other two girls were like, Mom, we want to do that too. And I said, rock on. And they sat down and they created. Like, are they going to become the next YouTube sensations? Probably not. Are they going to become Hollywood's next video editors? Maybe, not sure, right? But they can, kids can, we can, you can. So keep that in mind. And with the last couple of minutes, I'm going to hop back to my presentation.
Can you show us, Sarah, what happens when you finish it?
Oh, yes. Yes. Thank you, Desiree. Sometimes I forget that I got to go through with this, right? Because I've done it. So let's go ahead and finish, which I just clicked that blue finish button up there, right? Simple. So I'm going to call this, let's make it simple, Emily's Soccer. So I'm going to give it a title. And then here we go, pick a little thumbnail. This is something that I wish I had more control over, and maybe I really do. I'm just not sure how to make it happen. But it would be really cool if I could get the title of the video to actually show up as the thumbnail. So if anybody out there knows how to do that, that would be awesome. But over here, you can also see how I'm going to export it. So remember we talked about podcasts. So if I had just done a lot of talking and I had recorded that, maybe I just want to pull out just the audio. Or if you were creating a GIF, that's your intention for your ultimate product, select that. And then you do have two options right here. I've always left it at the default and it's worked just nicely. If you want to up it, just know that it's probably going to take a little bit longer for it to process, but it's all in the purpose of your end game. And then down here, again, pretty awesome. All you have to do is select where you ultimately want this to go. And you're 98% of the way done here. The final step, and this is a step that tripped a lot of us up in the spring, is if you want to share this, especially with your students, or you're making it for your parents to be able to watch as well, make sure that you mark it as public so that other people can see it. And I know it seems like a very small change, but it really does make a big deal. And as a side note, one of my teachers said that her video was not public. So she came back into like the editing side where we just were, clicked finish again, and it brought her to the screen. She marked it as public, and it ended up being the same link from her original. So I'm hoping that that holds true all of the time. And then when you click export, it's going to take you to this screen, and it's going to say you don't have to keep this open. I get an email when it's ready. So I could close this out, I could be done, and then when it's ready in 1 minute and 5 seconds, I'll get an email, or if I have to run off and go to something else, that email will be waiting for me. And at that point, it gives you the link. It allows you to then be able to share it, which is pretty phenomenal because you don't have to remember to come back here to get all of that stuff. So you could go ahead and close that out. And then coming back here, the last slide in our slide deck today, if you're looking for some help or support, go right there. It's Wevideo Support site. I love the creator community. I wish more people would be part of that. You can go in, and it's actually like their own little area to where not only can you learn, but you can share with other people. You can learn from other people. I do have a Wakelet. I know that's very shocking if you've been with us at all for more than one webinar. I create a Wakelet for pretty much everything that I do. And I've been tucking in all kinds of tips and tricks and resources, especially that guy, John Klein. I can't say his name enough. He shares out so many good things, and I'll just tuck in his little tweets. And it really goes a long way in helping you feel more comfortable. You see him do it, and he generates a lot of ideas for you. And then the last thing that Wevideo does that I think is pretty phenomenal is they have this idea hub to where you can go and teachers actually can submit back to Wevideo various activities and things that they've done, and you can like reap the rewards from what everybody else has learned or shared or tried. and it's pretty awesome. So it's like your pre-built little lesson library. Also, I know you can get this book somewhere. I'm pretty sure you could just buy it on Amazon, I'm guessing. It's pretty awesome. And I will say the support from Wevideo, if you have questions, is also pretty awesome as well. So I know I just went over my time. Thank you for joining me. If you have questions, like Desiree said, tweet at me, reach out. You can find me at techyoucando.com. I do firmly believe that we are better together, and I'm happy to help other people if you're interested in learning more or you're interested in trying. And I know Desiree is the same way. So thank you for coming. Desiree, I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, we do have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Someone asked about educator pricing. I did put the link in the chat for that. And if you're watching this on YouTube, the link will be underneath the video. When you go to show more, you will be able to see that link. Kathleen asks, can we see the final project? So if that video was done, can they see it?
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
And then we have a couple of more questions.
Oh, now I just lost Zoom. Hang on a second. Okay. So let me share my screen again. Here we go. Now this is by far, like, this is not my best. I was throwing things in here, but you can actually preview it. It's in here, and you can see here's the link. So let's just click on the link and we'll go bigger. And you can see it's got your stuff down here. Here's a Google Classroom integration. You can also, this is me being a nerd. You can see how many views this has. So let's check it out. That's Emily right here playing soccer.
Kiefer, you're in an excellent position. I love that. No, you were great.
And that is her very loud coach right there, which is awesome. She does really great with them. So it's just a couple more seconds of her playing in that game. So
Kathy asks, how much contrast do you lose when you go through any of the other mediums?
what do you mean by contrast?
I'm not sure, Kathy, if you can clarify that. Anna said, answered and said she sees no difference in the different projects that she creates. Someone asked, sometimes you lose clarity.
Yeah, and keep that in mind, depending on where you are getting your images from. You know, if you're trying to take a teeny tiny little thumbnail and trying to blow it up so that it's full screen, it's not going to look great. The videos and the pictures that I took, I just used my phone and I imported it, put it in, and it looks, I would say, just as good as what it does on my phone. But keep in mind where you're getting your media from will go a long way in what it ultimately ends up looking like. And that's pretty much just across the board with anything.
And lastly, unless we have any other questions, we need the link to your Wakelet about Wevideo.
Oh, that is, it's in the presentation. And I will drop it in the chat though, hang on.
Okay, so it's in the presentation, and people that are watching this on YouTube, when she drops it in the chat, I will claim it and I will put it under show more under resources.
Yep, it's on my website. You can also go to Wakelet, and if you find me, you'll see all of my collections, and Wakelet is in there too. So I can't say enough how Wakelet is such an easy tool to bring things in, and Wevideo probably has one of my largest, well, it's got quite a few things in there, so it's exciting.
Okay, so I'm not seeing any other questions, so please show your love in the chat. Sarah, thank you so much for doing this for us yet again. Like, I get so excited because I know I'm going to, even if it's something I've taught 50 years, I know I'm going to learn something new from your session. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me, Desiree. As always, I love sharing this stuff out, and we really only brushed on like the tip of the possibilities with Wevideo, but I hope it's enough to encourage you and entice you to say, hey, I want to learn more. I want to do more with it. And quite honestly, the best thing for you to do is just jump in and try it and go with the free account. Like, don't feel like you have to purchase something right away. I felt very lucky that we did, but go with the free account, see what you can do. And if you really like it, go from there, then buy into it. But don't feel like you have to do that right away. But if you can, it is awesome.